With the World Cup upon us and Arsenal on a break, Director of Football Edu Gaspar is making moves. So as the Gunners look to strengthen their title charge, today we'll find out if transfer target Mykhaylo Mudryk has plans on moving to the Emirates Stadium. We'll also hear about Mikel Arteta's plans for the World Cup and find out what Cristiano Ronaldo has said about Arsenal. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. The Arsenal might be on hold for a bit, but you know what, the Arsenal news is not. So if you enjoy the content, make sure to go down there to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's try to get to the gargantuan 130k. But let's start off with Arsenal's plan for the World Cup. The Qatar 2022 World Cup is now upon us and no more Arsenal until December the 26th. It's a very weird time, not just for the Arsenal fans but also for the Arsenal manager. Mikel Arteta says on the World Cup break, we have to use this time in the best possible way. So the players who are not participating in the World Cup, they will have some time off, which they fully deserve. The likes of Martin Odegaard, Zinchenko, Gabriel Magalhaes are all important first teamers not at the World Cup. It's the perfect time for these guys to recuperate and recover and then return to training after a week or so, as Arsenal then have plans to go to Dubai, as Arsenal officially confirmed that they will take part in the Dubai Super Cup during the break for the World Cup, facing Lyon on the 8th of December and AC Milan on the 13th of December. However, will not face Liverpool, up against former players like Alexandre Lacazette and the reigning Serie A champions, where the players can embark in some warm weather training. It's also very close to Qatar. I also believe this time off is perfect for the likes of Fabio Vieira, someone who had no pre-season, now has the perfect opportunity to work alongside Mikel Arteta. And also keep an eye on Emil Smith-Rowe, who is also closing into an Arsenal return. A lot of reports have claimed that post the World Cup, we could see the return of the Arsenal number 10. This video is brought to you by the brilliant people of FootMob, the best football app on the market. With the World Cup being upon us, you guys need to download FootMob. There are so many features to love, from their super clean interface to their brand new lock screen widgets where you can see all of the live scores as they happen. Your boy's favorite is FootMob also provides live in-game stats, where you can even see the breakdown of the expected goals. And you guys know your boy loves his XG. You can also choose to follow your favorite teams and your favorite players, with plenty of more features. My friends, use the link down below in the description and download FootMob for free from either Google Play or the App Store. And as someone that uses the app on every match day, I can't recommend it enough. But back to the video and the Arsenal players that are going to the World Cup. Here you have Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli both reporting to training for Brazil. To be quite honest with you guys, I don't expect for Jesus or Martinelli to start that many games, because Brazil's manager Tite not only has Neymar but actually prefers Richarlison. You've also had Takehiro Tomiyasu seen in training for Japan. Now Tomiyasu actually missed the last few Arsenal games because of an injury, but as you can see it was just a precaution, and expect a lot of Japanese excellence for Tomiyasu starting for Japan at the World Cup. But talking about excellence, you've also got William Saliba arriving at Clairefontaine to report for duty for France, and it's been confirmed Saliba will wear the number 17 shirts for his country. Now France have a host of top centre backs from Varane to Upamecano to Koundé, but a lot of reports have claimed that their manager Didier Deschamps is set to move to a back three and start William Saliba, and this could be the moment where Saliba announces himself on the world stage. You've also got Benny Blanco, Benjamin White and Bukayo Saka reporting for England international duties, and in terms of shirt numbers, Bukayo Saka is going to be 17, Ben White 21 and Aaron Ramsdale 23. Out of all three of those players, the one that I expect to start is Bukayo Saka, and with all due respect to Jack Grealish, that number 7 shirt should really and truly be Bukayo Saka's. So representing Arsenal at the World Cup, you've got Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Ramsdale, White, Saka, Saliba, Partey, Tomiyasu, Xhaka and Matt Turner. In total, Arsenal have 10 players, and if you compare that to the rest of the Premier League, it's the 4th highest behind Spurs, Chelsea, Man United and Man City. So as it stands, our rivals out of all those teams is actually Man City, and they have the most players going to the World Cup, and I expect for the players to get a lot of minutes, and that could ultimately be a hindrance when they return to Man City a little bit tired. But the likes of Matt Turner, Xhaka, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Saka and Partey are players that I do expect to get a lot of minutes. All I'm hoping for is no injuries, they come back to Arsenal fit, ready, recharged and available, because as much as I love the World Cup, my real focus is on December the 26th, the return for Arsenal against West Ham at the Emirates Stadium. Talk to me down below in the comments. How excited are you for the World Cup? and which Arsenal players do you expect to stand out? Moving on to the Arsenal transfer news, and starting off with the main man Fabrizio Romano, who has confirmed, I think we will see Arsenal be ready to invest in more signings this January. They have been fantastic in the Premier League, now 5 points clear, and it's a big opportunity if they can strengthen further in the middle of the season. Fabrizio joins a host of reporters all confirming the same exact thing. This January transfer window, the Arsenal owners will back Mykhaylo Mudryk. And in terms of reporter Simon Collins, he says long-term Arsenal also want to sign a left-footed centre-back and another midfielder, but given their position now, there is an argument to accelerate those plans and add to the squad from a position of strength. The plan for Mykhaylo Mudryk is very obvious. He wants to have two top quality players in every single position. Take for example our left back. We've got the likes of Alexander Zinchenko, but as his backup you've got a top player like Kieran Tierney. It can be difficult to recruit players in the January transfer window, but by being top of the Premier League, Arsenal now have the ability to lure in players and pitch them the plan of a title charge. So if you could sign one left-footed centre-back, comment down below who would it be. But in terms of midfield, Yuri Tielemans is becoming the standout name, and according to fairly reliable reports in Spain, Barcelona will now have competition for Tielemans, as Arsenal have decided to bet heavily on the player. As the manager Mykhaylo Mudryk likes the midfielder, Tielemans is now focused on the World Cup and will decide his future when Qatar's event ends. So enter the scene FC Barcelona, another team in the Europa League, trying to sign Yuri Tielemans. But this report here claims that Arsenal are the team advancing, as Mykhaylo Mudryk wants to make a bid in the January transfer window. But as per reporter Paul Brown, it seems from what we are told, Tielemans is going to wait until he hits the open market as a free agent, which a lot of players do like to do these days, and he's going to have his pick of clubs. Now this is where it gets a bit technical. For Yuri Tielemans, it could be better financially to wait until the end of the season. Not only would he have more options, but when you sign a player on a free transfer, they can often demand massive wages. But you also have to account for the fact that Tielemans is not a number 6. He's far more of a attack-minded midfielder, and you could very easily argue signing a number 6 to complement Thomas Partey is a far bigger priority. But as Simon Collins reports, the club wants to back Mykhaylo Mudryk and a winger is their priority, and Orlando's Facundo Torres both targets. Now these two are very different profiles because Mudryk excels on the left hand side, whereas Facundo Torres thrives a lot more on the right hand side. And on the left hand side, Arsenal of course have Gabriel Martinelli and have played the likes of Nketiah and likewise Jesus, and you will also have the soon returning Emil Smith-Rowe. Whereas on the right hand side, we only really have Bukayo Saka. After Saka you have Nelson, Marquinhos. But that being said, in terms of Mykhaylo Mudryk, we have an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano, who says that Arsenal remain in contact to discuss the signing of Mykhaylo Mudryk, and he adds that I think Arsenal is the perfect place for him. The Premier League, ambitious project, young players, and an excellent manager and board. So it looks like Edu Gaspar is making his moves behind the scenes. But here's where things become even more interesting, as the player himself Mykhaylo Mudryk has spoken in an exclusive interview to reporter Vlada Sedan, the wife of Alexander Zinchenko. And when asked on if he follows Arsenal closely, he says, yeah, I check on them in my school and know when they are playing. I also watch them too. Arsenal is a very dynamic side in general, not just in controlling possession but also in scoring goals. I mean, with the quality of football that Arsenal have been playing this season, it's very hard not to take notice. But on the Arsenal fans, Mudryk says, one surprise for me was how many Arsenal fans have followed me. No other club's fans have interacted as much as them, telling me that they are waiting for me and saying come to us. The Arsenal fans are so active on social media, and as you can see here, the players always see it, and I'm not really surprised because of course Arsenal are a gargantuan institution and the Arsenal fans are doing their thing once again. But here's where things take another twist. As Mudryk says, from a purely theoretical fantasy perspective, if there was an option to be a bench player for Real Madrid or a starter for Arsenal, I'd probably choose Arsenal. It's a tough question and involves a lot of factors in my answer. If it wasn't already blatantly obvious, Mudryk is once again initiating he wants to move to the Emirates Stadium. In the past, saying things like, if Arsenal came calling he wouldn't say no. It looks like to me a player that is kind of low-key on his knees to move to the Emirates Stadium. But in terms of a January transfer, when Mudryk was asked on if he would be upset if he didn't get a move in the winter transfer window, after a long pause, he said yes, he does not want to wait until the summer and he's planning for a transfer as soon as possible. And then Vlada Sedan, Zinchenko's wife, concludes the interview by saying she hopes to meet Mudryk under different circumstances and finishes by saying, come on you gooners. Can I just say that Alexander Zinchenko, you my friend have bagged a 10 out of 10 worldie. She's basically doing the job for Edu Gaspar, and all in all to give this interview confirming that he watches Arsenal the Arsenal fans have caught his attention, and he wants to leave in January. I almost treat it as a low-key transfer request, saying that, listen, Arsenal, I want to go to you guys, agree the fee, and let's make a transfer happen. Moving on to Cristiano Ronaldo, who has of course dropped a massive interview exposing Erik ten Hag, Manchester United, saying that those guys are forcing him out. And in that interview, Ronaldo says, I think the fans should know the truth. I want the best for the club. This is why I come to Manchester United. But you have some things inside the club that don't help us reach the top level as Man City, Liverpool, and even now Arsenal. So one of the greatest players of all time is openly saying that clubs like Arsenal have become the standard. A massive compliment to how far Arsenal have come. And after this jaw-dropping interview, Ronaldo is all but set to leave Old Trafford in the January transfer window, most likely on a free transfer. For an Arsenal team that is fighting for a title and needs more experience and more specifically goals, scoring over 20 goals in all competitions for Man United last season. I have seen a few Arsenal fans say that if Ronaldo was available, could he help a potential Arsenal title charge? But as Mykhaylo Mudryk has changed the culture of the Arsenal dressing room, I'm not too sure if the ego and the personality of a Cristiano Ronaldo would be beneficial at the Emirates Stadium. But moving on to the other Arsenal news, and starting off with the home of football, the Emirates Stadium, as during the World Cup it has presented Arsenal an opportunity to start the renovations of the Emirates Stadium. As you guys can see, they have stripped the outsides. Arsenal want to make a brand new clean design. One could shamelessly argue they're trying to renovate it just in time for just a little potential title charge. We're gonna have to wait and see. Here are the standout Arsenal players in terms of the stats this season. Most goals is Martin Odegaard with 6, assist is Bukayo Saka with 6, passes William Saliba with 939, Martinelli has the most crosses with 63, most tackles is Ben White with 28, and most fouls is Gabriel Jesus with 24. With Martin Odegaard being our top goal scorer with 6 goals, do Arsenal have a problem in terms of goal scoring? Well, in terms of the most XG created this season, Arsenal have the highest in the Premier League, above Man City and Tottenham. Mykhaylo Mudryk's attack is finally falling into place, and as it stands, Arsenal are the most creative team in the Premier League. And in terms of the Arsenal front four, Odegaard has 6 goals and 2 assists, Bukayo Saka with 5 goals and 6 assists. You also have Jesus with 5 goals and 6 assists, and then you have Gabriel Martinelli with 5 goals and 2 assists. A total of 37 goal contributions in the first half from the Arsenal front four. The scariest thing about that attack is the oldest player is Gabriel Jesus, only at 25. But on the topic of expected goals, here is the XG for and against this season, and as you guys can see on the top right hand side, Arsenal are creating around 2 XG per game and conceding the least in the Premier League. And in terms of the last 10 matches, alongside Arsenal enter the scene Newcastle United. Arsenal aren't just winning games, but we are winning games sustainably. The defence is limiting the XG against, has the most clean sheets and the least goals conceded, and going forwards Arsenal are the second highest goal scorers. And here's an even crazier stat. Man City have made the best start in 5 years, and you even have Tottenham making their best start in their Premier League history, but it's Arsenal that are 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. So even at the best that these guys have had, Arsenal are pulling clear, and that's where things just get a little bit scary. And of course you have to calm down, you can't be too overexcited, but right now Arsenal are winning games sustainably, and the more that I see these numbers and the more that I think about it, the more that I start to just low-key believe that Arsenal might just have a chance. But anyways guys, that's a video there and there, so hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to go down there to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and with the World Cup on the horizon, I hope you guys are excited, and let's see what impact it has on Arsenal Football Club. I'll see you guys next time, take care of yourselves and have a great